Good evening, everybody. Meteorologist Keith Gibson in the First Alert Weather Center. Let's get you started with our latest radar outlook and situation currently across northeastern Wisconsin. We're starting our digital live stream. We've had a lot of breaking news in the country today. Obviously, we couldn't do our newscast at 6 o'clock as scheduled. We've been trying to update you as best we can with the activity as it's been moving on through northeastern Wisconsin. But right now, we will have the official warnings, Green Lake and Marquette, until 7:30, those counties right there. But we have some very strong storms with very heavy rainfall in and around the Appleton area right now. You can see as we zoom on into the Fox cities, a lot of rain and some embedded lightning there. There could be some strong gusty wind from Manawa to Fremont approaching New London. Not severe, but it is a very healthy storm. We will inspect these storms in just a split second. Another strong line of storm stretches from areas down and just east of Watoma to Montello right now. And I do want to let everybody know that these storms are moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. And these storms are going to impact, it looks like, all of the Fox Valley at some point here within the next 60 to 90 minutes. We have a lot of folks out and about this evening. This is a very busy summer Saturday. And there are a lot of folks probably in Oshkosh for Life Fest, and that's going to be impacted here probably by 8 o'clock. We're going to do a storm track here on this line of storms that is actually moving to the east and southeast at about 40 miles per hour. So let's put that storm track right here, and that would take it to Oshkosh at 7:48. It's already we already have a batch of storms in Appleton. The second wave will be coming through too. And I should mention that these storms are producing a lot of rainfall here. We could get a quick 1 to 2 to maybe up to 3 inches of rain if one of these happens to sit over your location for an extended period of time. We've already had some flooding out towards Wausau this evening. So let's go down the line here. Appleton, you're getting your storm now. But we also look downstream. Winneconne by 7:30. Ripon by 7:33, Menasha 7:39, Kaukauna 7:41, Oshkosh 7:48, and this would also be in the Fond du Lac area here by about that same time frame of Oshkosh. I'd put it about 7:50. It's not plotting on this particular list. Maybe I can change that just a second here. There we go, by about 8 o'clock. Okay, so those cities that we just called out, we are under the gun for some wind gusts that could be 40 to 60 miles per hour. So I just wanted to set the stage here, and I'm going to go to my comments on the old Facebook live stream. So thanks for hanging with us tonight. We've been trying to update you the best we can. We didn't really have the best luck with getting our newscast on the air tonight here. So, all right. So this is the line of storms, and let's go in, and now that we've given you the heads up here that these cities are going to be impacted, let's go in and see exactly what is happening. And first we will look at the shear rate, and this is where we have pockets of strong wind. Now we're looking at the Green Bay radar right now. Now out towards New London, Bear Creek, Shiocton, Hortonville, you see this line right here. This denotes where we could have some very strong wind moving to the east, and this is just a 30-minute lapse, and we could easily have some wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. I should mention that when the storm moved through Green Bay, it was in a weakening phase. We did have some reports upwards of about 40 miles per hour officially. We've had some 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts throughout the course of the day here. Maybe some stronger, but that's what we've had officially reported. Now I'm going to swap out the radar site and go down to the Milwaukee radar site and hopefully get a better handle on some of the stronger wind that could be down here. Berlin right here, Princeton, east of Montello. This is where we also have pockets of some strong wind here. Again, 40 to 50 to 60 miles per hour. So that is why we have let me clear that off real quick. That is why we have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect for these areas until 7:30. So we have a couple of official severe thunderstorm warnings and unofficially no severe thunderstorm warnings in the Fox Valley up towards New London or Appleton. But we have some pretty good healthy storms moving through. They could be kicking up some 40 to 60 mile per hour winds here. So Donna reporting some hard rain coming down in Appleton. It's a super soaker here. Also, Jeremy reporting coming down hard in Kaukauna. I'm looking at the comments here. And I do want to let you know that we have these storms now, but in the wee hours of the night, Sarah asking about a second line coming in overnight. Yes, there is a chance for a second batch of storms, probably 4, 5, 6 a.m., very, very late. I'm going to show you those storms. They're way out in Minnesota and the Dakotas right now. So we will be done, I think, as far as very active weather in the near term over the next 2 hours. Let's see, it's just after 7 o'clock, 7:15. And I tell you what, our forecast models, I told you this yesterday, they were about as clear as mud. And we knew we were going to have storms this evening. They're here now. The exact depiction of how they were handling things earlier today, just absolutely atrocious. But that's what happens when we have these storms here. So let me go in and we're going to just zoom in really tight and give some more cities here a heads up here. So if you're watching in Green Lake, storms coming in right now, very soon in western Fond du Lac County, Omro, Winneconne, you're about ready to get hard with this. It's getting pretty ugly there in Red Granite right now with heavy rain and lightning and probably some gusty wind. We come up to the Fox Cities, the Fox Valley, Fremont, Redfield, Hortonville, very heavy rain, thunder and lightning, a lot of activity here. Total strikes, and when I pop on the total strikes, that shows where we have the number of lightning strikes in the last 5 minutes in the view of the radar that you see on your device right now. And we're getting, even here in Green Bay, some non-severe activity, but I just heard some rain and some thunder outside the studio tonight. But this is cloud-to-ground lightning. It's very dangerous. Let's go to Appleton, our Skycam, and show you probably blinding rain. Yeah, it is blinding rain. Our speed connection there is a little bit slower than some of our other cameras here, but you can certainly see that things are pretty wet out there. Kathy reporting just left the Catfish concert in Greenville, hard rain and lightning. Desiree, yes, this storm is coming to Oshkosh, so just heads up if you are in the city of Oshkosh, you will be getting the storm very, very soon. Green Bay. We've had some wet weather. Things are simmering down just a little bit. Shawano, you had your storm. This is the calm after the storm, but man, we had a pretty good storm earlier. Let's go to Oshkosh right now. So things are looking more ominous, and the skies are going to be darkening here as the line of storms approaches Oshkosh over the next 30 minutes, and the storm is coming your way. Right now, we have no imminent concerns on the lakeshore. Manitowoc, dry. Sturgeon Bay, dry. But these storms are moving your general direction. So I just want to give you the heads up here that we have some pretty gusty storms moving on through here. Let's go in and inspect the velocity here. And I'm going to turn the lighting off and some of these other products off. And where we have this feature right here in around New London and Hortonville, that's likely a line of very strong gusty wind. And we can query some of these values here. We're looking at a loft in the radar, and this is about 1,600 feet above the surface, and 30, 40-ish mile per hour winds in this activity, maybe up to 45. And yeah, so that's technically not severe wind, but it can still cause some trees to come on down and some power lines to come on down. We'll take a look at the power outage situation in just a little second, just a quick second, once I go up and change up some of my products here. So going down to the Milwaukee radar real quick, let's go to our velocity here, and let's go to our shear rate, and this cleans things up just a little bit. So all right, so Laura Ann asking for Ripon, and yes, you're about ready to get into the thick of the storm that is just to your west. I would expect some gusty wind. That could be 40 plus in this area right here. From Winneconne down to areas east of Princeton right here. near Green Lake. So we're watching that for sure. All right, so now let's go ahead and let me show you where we have had some of the reports as far as active weather today. Officially in Green Bay, measured 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That was at 6:34 as the storm was weakening coming into Green Bay. And we also had some nickel-sized hail out towards Black Creek in Outagamie County. Our storm reports have been few and far between, so if you do have anything to report, please let me know. Out towards Wausau earlier, there was 3 inches of rain in, well, this was a 3-inch diameter hail. Oh yeah, earlier I thought it was 2, but now they've upgraded west of Wausau. 3-inch diameter hailstone earlier about 3 o'clock. And also some flooding was occurring in the Wausau area with very heavy rainfall. Stalled vehicles and some deeper water there. So we've had some issues around the region this evening for sure. Those are the official reports. And if you have anything, let me know. I'll try to pass it along. All right. Amber reporting heavy rains in Appleton. And let me see what just printed off the old printer here. 1.75 inches in Tigerton. In northwestern Wapaka County as far as rainfall, that coming down in short order. Yes, so we'll have to check out some of our rainfall totals here in just a little bit as well. So just looking at some of our wind gusts, we had 40 in Green Bay, 45 in Marathon County, 49 officially in Wausau earlier with the line of storms as it was coming on through. And if you are, let's see, somebody was asking about Sturgeon Bay. We are going to have a little bit of wet weather move through Sturgeon Bay over the next hour or so. It's coming in right now. This is very light. There could be a little bit of thunder and lightning embedded in that. But this is some light, steadier rain that goes up to Wakano and Marinette. More or less a nuisance to ruin your Saturday evening there. So that area is north of Green Bay right now. We are looking pretty good. Nothing imminent here that will be developing in the next couple of hours, it would appear. So we're really focused on our southern areas right now. Let me pop on the warnings and see what we have. So nothing has changed. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Green Lake and southern Marquette County until now 7:45. So the next 20-30 minutes we'll be watching that southern line of storms. But Ripon, Fond du Lac, North Fond du Lac, I had a viewer call earlier wondering if there was any hail in the storm because she was worried about her garden. And I said, well, there has been a little bit of hail in this, and we'll go in and check out some of the hail. And just looking at this, I'm going to zoom in first over here towards the Appleton area. And this is where there could be, with some of the very heavy rainfall, let's go to our hail product here. There could be some hail that could be, dime size to maybe penny size to nickel size hail. That is sub-severe, but that can still cause some issues. And other pockets of smaller hail out to the west and northwest of Winneconne and down here towards and just east and southeast of Montello here. So Amber reporting a little bit of hail in Appleton. So what do you got there? Katie as well reporting some hail in Appleton. Let me know. Chime in with the hail. What size do you think it is? Obviously, I don't want you to go out in the storm and put your life at risk. So if you can kind of estimate it, or maybe if it's coming up underneath your awning or something, you can check it out, and I can pass it along. But definitely some hail showing up on First Alert Viper Max, doing a pretty good job. All right, hail coming down in Appleton, coming down hard. That is what we are looking at right now. All right, so that would be this blotch right over Appleton and Kimberly, Kaukauna, parts of the Fox Cities here. We are definitely getting some, Carrie reporting some pea-sized hail in Appleton. All right. And we can see some of these deeper purples and even a little bit of black showing up. This would be northeast of downtown Appleton on the northeast side of town, where there could be a little bit of larger size. So Carol reporting some dime-sized hail. Amber reporting some pea-sized hail on Memorial Road. Okay, so we're getting some smaller hail and some very heavy rainfall in Appleton. Let's go back there and check it out. Ooh. Looks like pure rain from our sky cam right now. Cody asking, is the storm still possible of producing a small tornado? Well, we've been watching for some rotation within the storm complexes here today, and we did have a little bit of rotation in Portage County for about 30 minutes. That was south of Stevens Point near Plover, where there was a wall cloud reported. But that dissipated as it came into northeastern Wisconsin, our official coverage area here. So let me just go in and let me show you the bigger picture right now. And I'm going to look out where we are nationally. So here we are. Here's our line of storms moving through. And I would say, like, looking back at yesterday's computer models for today, I think the yesterday version of our pinpoint predictor did a much better handle on the current situation relative to what is had been happening earlier today. So it's just interesting. Sometimes when we get new data in, it's not nearly as good as data that came in yesterday. So this is the big picture. I'm going to go out to Minnesota and the Dakotas, where we have a confirmed tornado warning and a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning in and around north and south of Fargo there. But these storms out here, these are expected to congeal into some sort of a line and track this general direction later on tonight. And so that's why I'm saying we can't really let down our guard as far as more storms later on tonight. I think the wave moving through now will help to stabilize things a little bit until the wee hours of the night. But these storms here in Minnesota and southern Canada are expected to congeal into some sort of a line, track southeast, and get into Wisconsin late tonight and maybe parts of our area very late tonight and tomorrow morning. So I just want to let you know that's what we have coming down the pike here later on tonight. Steph reporting, just drove from Wausau to Luxembourg. That was not a pretty ride, no doubt. It was pretty ugly there for a bit. Appreciate the report there. Super gusty winds. Rebecca, where are those at? I guess we can just assume that there's some pretty good gusty wind in a lot of this activity this evening. All right, let's go back in and put on another storm track here. So if you're just tuning in, this is our digital live stream. We've been doing some coverage here online as best we can. We've got a lot of national breaking news taking the stage there on our 2.1 channel, WBAY TV. But this is really good. We can do some extra analysis here, and I can look at multiple things back here in the weather office. So let's do a storm track again. And this is moving east-southeast at about 40 miles per hour. So this would take it near, it's moving into Amo right now. Ripon by 7:32. You've got a little bit of rain there now. Waupun by 7:49, Fond du Lac area by about 8 o'clock, Oshkosh 7:47. It is threatening. Again, we've got a lot of folks out for the Life Fest there this evening. So hoping that everybody is taking precautions. I know I did get let me go over to my other cellular device. I'm multitasking here. Got a picture from one of my coworkers at Fox City Stadium, folks gathering up in the concourse as the storm was moving on through. So let me just let you know that this line of storms is moving east-southeast at about 40. So Oshkosh by 8 o'clock or so, or 7:47, Fond du Lac by about 8 o'clock. Chilton over in Calumet County by 8:13. And this is, someone was asking about Manitowoc, and I'm going to extend this out just a little bit. And this would take it to Manitowoc by about 8:42. All right, so Kayla, you ask, and there you go. So Amanda reporting some wicked lightning in Ripon. Yes, indeed. There's a a lot of lightning in this. Let me pop that back on here. All right, let me clear this out, pop the lightning back on, and 251 lightning strikes, or over 200 cloud to ground lightning strikes within the view that you see on your screen right now in the last 5 minutes. And this is supercharged stuff. We mentioned this yesterday, that there could be a lot of lightning in this, and that's indeed what we're having. Carrie asking about Denmark. What you see is what you're going to get. Some lighter to steadier rain, maybe some localized downpours here in the next little while. But the storm moving your way is actually in a bit of a weakening phase. So it doesn't look to be too terribly bad there in Denmark, Carrie, for you. Thanks for asking. Appreciate that. But let's go back to Appleton, where we've had some of that hail reported. And we still have some signatures of some hail here. This could be some smaller hail, maybe up to the size of a quarter. I haven't had any official reports yet, but we've had a lot of folks chime in with some smaller stones here in the Appleton area this evening. And I just got a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Fond du Lac County and Green Lake, Columbia, Dodge County. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and it is 7:30. I'm going to go and do another update on the TV side, and I'll be back here on the digital side once I get my. I'm going to go ahead and mute this real quick. I will be back. I'm going to mute the audio stream here and go do our TV thing, and then I'll be back. So just hang tight. Okay, folks, sorry about that. Multitasking here tonight. Had to do that update on the TV side. Okay, pouring rain and red granite. Appreciate the report there, Donna. Let me catch up on the comments here. All right, with the wind, where are... well, Aaron, I think every community sound sirens for different thresholds here. You know, typically a lot of the sirens won't be sounding unless we have tornadoes or a tornado warning, but every community and area is different. I know down south where I worked in Mississippi, some spots would blow them at 70, 75 miles per hour. Right now, these winds aren't that extreme. They're likely going to cause some issues, but they're not as high as what we have had and what we could have in this sort of environment. All right, so let's talk about those power outages that could be occurring with our winds out there. So let's bring up the current list of outages. And as of now, this is 7:37. We have 4,900 customers without power in this map. Not all of our coverage area. A lot of this was over towards central Wisconsin, but we have Shawano, 800 customers without power, Wapaka, 200, Washera, 100. A lot of these back to the west, though, and look at Vilas, 2,000, Marathon, 1,000. So we do have some pockets of some power outages. And I mention this because, one, we don't want power outages, but two, tomorrow's going to be another hot and steamy day. And you're going to watch your air conditioning the next 2 days, actually. It's going to be very steamy around here. All right. Delaney reporting some small hail in Appleton again. All right. Okay, so this is the current situation. It is 7:38. We're doing our digital live stream. Hopefully you are staying safe as this line of storms comes on through northeastern and eastern Wisconsin. And let's go back to our Skycam in Oshkosh. Looks pretty ominous right here. I'm going to actually leave that up real quick. I'm going to start a time lapse and make sure we can see this thing coming on in. I did time lapse for Green Bay and Shawano as the storms were coming through earlier today. Haven't checked them out yet to see exactly how they look, but these time lapses often give us a neat look back at the event that has been unfolding. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll come back here just a little bit. It looks like we got a little bit of a shelf cloud there out ahead of the actual line of storms coming on in. So batten down the hatches, as they say here. All right, Alberta reporting some flooding in Appleton. I can go find my other cell phone here real quick. So yes, we've had some urban flooding again in Appleton with all that heavy rainfall. And we're going to get, oh, that reminds me, we should take a look at the rainfall here. I promised you that. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at how much rain has fallen over the last couple of hours here in northeastern Wisconsin. So let me stop this animation real quick and let's go and see what has been happening here. So this is a 3-hour total. We have I should mention this, we have a flood advisory for areas in and around Southern Calumet, northern Winnebago, parts of, let's just say the Fox Valley here for some very heavy rainfall that has been occurring. So this is a 3-hour rainfall estimate. And parts of the Appleton area, 1 to 2 inches. These other pockets here, over 2 inches. So we're getting some good rain here, folks. This is exactly what I was thinking could happen with this setup. Line of storms, very heavy rainfall. Oh, just got a report of confirming what you folks have been talking about, of the small hail that had been moving through the Appleton area. So going back to the rainfall here, if we get 1 to 2 inches of rain in short order, especially in an urban environment, that is where we're going to have some localized flooding here. So this is exactly, yes, Brittany saying all the places that don't need more rain, correct. This is what we do not want to have happen after how wet it has been. But this, what we're getting now is the end result of all the juice in the atmosphere. So let me just give you the lay of the land here. Areas north of Appleton here, we're really in good shape here for the next little while here. Really some light nuisance type stuff north of Green Bay up towards Door County. Nothing that's going to cause any serious impacts, but there has been some occasional lightning strikes up in here. So even if it is just a light rain, there's still an outside chance that there could be a rogue lightning strike that you do not want to be anywhere near. But from Appleton, Neenah, the Fox Cities, and south, we have this very heavy line of storms with a lot of lightning, over 175 strikes in the last 5 minutes, and some strong wind. Let's go back to our shear rate. And we have pockets of where there could be some heavier rain, or some stronger wind, let's say. Coming into Oshkosh right now, north of Appleton. Does that match up where we have some of the radar reflectivity? A little bit. I think Oshkosh, you're about ready to get hit hard here with the, let's go back to our weather or velocity here. And this doesn't really do a good job when it's the same direction as the radar beam. So let me go to our Milwaukee radar. And at the very least, we can sample some of these winds aloft. And there's definitely some wind in this for sure. This is about 3 to 5,500 feet. So this is a little bit aloft, but still 40 to 50 mile per hour winds aloft could be coming down to the surface. So just be aware. This is a dangerous type situation if you are at an outdoor event, or, trees can easily come down with those kind of wind gusts here. So just from Appleton, you've been getting blasted. Now it's moving into the Oshkosh area. And there is the latest view. You check out the latest reports here. Some penny-sized hail near Appleton. All right, some smaller hail in the Appleton area here. Okay, this is in Sauk County, Wisconsin, just not in our area, but west of Baraboo. This is a report of a 67 mile per hour wind gust earlier with some branches down. So these storms have been packing some wind. Oh, and actually I'm going to move let me tilt our Skycam in Oshkosh down just a little bit here. You can see the trees whipping around in the foreground. I just noticed that. And we may lose our Oshkosh camera here because it's up there on the roof. It's elevated. Sometimes we'll lose that signal when we get maybe a power bump or something like that. So we will watch this come on in. And while I'm doing that, no, there it is here. So I'm trying to multitask with our newsroom here. All right, so it is about ready to get there. So let's go back to our radar real quick here. And Green Bay, we are in good shape here as far as the more significant weather. It is now from Wrightstown to Appleton, Neenah, Oshkosh, Ripon, and eventually getting into the Fond du Lac area here in the next 15 minutes. So this is the last 30 minutes. We'll pop the lightning back on. It is a pretty good light show here tonight for sure. A lot of thunder rumbling. Typical summer storms. Now, you'll get your heavy storm, and then we'll have the cloud layer and some steadier rain linger behind it. And notice how there's still some lightning strikes way out west of Watoma. So even if the thunder, the heaviest storm exits your area, even if the heaviest activity exits your area, we will have some issues here as far as a lightning threat until the whole thing, this whole complex moves farther and farther away. But obviously the bigger concern is with the actual line of storm. So let's do another fresh storm track on this and get you all schooled up and timed out here. So from near Wrightstown. It looks like it's coalescing here. On a positive note, as far as like the TV side here and our storm coverage plans today and this evening, this batch should be getting out of here by our late news tonight, and we'll have a complete recap, and we can get into a bit of a breathing, have some breathing space here before some of those storms later tonight. So, all right, so here are the updated storm track times. Moving into Oshkosh right now, Fond du Lac about 8 o'clock, Chilton 8:11, and Two Rivers, Manitowoc about 8:33, Plymouth 8:35, which is west of Sheboygan. I'm going to extend this out just a little bit, see if we can get Sheboygan to pop up. 8:53, there we go. So between now and 9 o'clock, the next hour and 15 minutes, this line of storms will get out of here. And right now, the only official severe thunderstorm warnings are for western Fond du Lac and parts of northern Dodge County and eastern Green Lake County until 8:15, and until 8:15. So we just popped all these cities up on the map here. That is where we expect the storm line to be over the next hour and 15 minutes, clearing our area by or shortly after 9 o'clock. Not a lot of official severe thunderstorm warnings on this right now, but as we showed you sampling some of the wind speeds here, there have been at least aloft and even occasionally measured at the surface. We've had some wind gusts up to around 40, 45 miles per hour. And that can cause some power lines to come on down, with trees that can come on down, and various lawn objects blowing around in your backyard, some patio furniture. So just be extra careful here. I'm going to go back in and check out some of the hail, because we have had some of that hail here. And I would say the greatest risk of hail right now is showing up just southeast and south of Appleton, where there still could be some smaller hail being detected here with First Alert Viper Max. This would be some smaller stuff here, pea to dime size hail. Nothing too terribly intense right now being detected, but not to say we won't have anything bigger develop, but that is the current situation. And as far as our wind velocity here, this tells the story where on the leading edge is where we're going to have the strongest wind. And speaking of that, let's go back to Oshkosh, where I suspect the trees will be, well, not moving too bad here. So, I mean, we've been sampling some of that wind aloft, and we'll see what actually gets confirmed at some of our reporting sites here. But the rain has moved in to the Oshkosh area. Sure is coming down in Amro right now. Yep, sure is. Okay, so it is, let me just reset the situation. At 7:50, we have a line of very strong storms, some of which are warned, some are not. Gusty storms, heavy rain-producing storms, with a lot of lightning moving through areas from Appleton to Fond du Lac, soon, very soon in Fond du Lac, but from Appleton south, and this is moving, we'll be moving through all of Calumet County. I would say the strongest activity in Manitowoc County will be, it looks like it's going to be along and south of Highway 10. But along and south of Highway 10, if you haven't had rain yet today, this line of storms is coming. You will have some wind, you will have some rain, some lightning most likely, and could cause some issues. We don't have a lot of widespread severe thunderstorm warnings right now, but we have had some issues here for sure. All right, how is Fremont doing? Right now, Fremont is in good shape. We've had our heavy storms, and there's going to be a little bit of rain and perhaps thunder for the next little while here. But Angie, you're in good shape now for the rest of the near term. So we'll see what happens later tonight, but this batch is moving away from you. Starting to pour in Sherwood, no doubt. All right, let me go back in and see what folks are talking about here. We've got some flooded roads in Appleton, combined locks, Kimberley, Kaukauna, vehicles stuck in flooded roads. So yes, be extra careful out there. Getting reports of some flooding issues over towards the Fox Cities, no doubt here. Power in Plainfield has been out for 1.5 hours. Thanks for the report there, Bill. I really hope we don't lose a lot of power tonight, just because it's going to be very humid tomorrow across the entire region. Heat indices well into the 90s and sticky stuff here. Do not want to lose power, but if you do, we'll just have to make it through, right? Go back to our power outages here real quick. All right, so this is the update as of 7:50. Marathon County 100 customers, Juneau County 200, Portage 200 customers, Shawano 800, Vilas about 2,000 customers. Total area here that you see on your map, about 57 customers without power. That's the approximate number here as of 7:52 this evening. So if you're watching the stream in Fond du Lac, we've been talking about 8 o'clock being a pretty good time, and that's about right. We're coming up on 8 o'clock here, and we've got some pretty good storms marching on through the region. I'm multitasking, trying to update our newsroom on a couple of things here real quick. All right, so if you do have any, if you do have any concerns, let me know. Let's go back in and see. I'm going to swap up our radar sites to the Milwaukee radar here. So the Milwaukee radar site is a little bit closer to the southern part of the storm, so we'll have a better handle down towards Fond du Lac as far as winds and all that goes down there. The leading edge, let me go and check that. Okay, now we have a flash flood warning for northwestern Calumet and southeastern Outagamie County for the rain that has been moving through. Let's go check out the radar estimates here. So now we have a flash flood warning, and that doesn't display naturally here. I'm going to toggle that on. All right, there we go. So this flash flood warning is for rain that has fallen in the last, this is a 3-hour rainfall estimate here. So downtown Appleton there, eastern side of town, Kimberly. So 1 to 3 inches of rain in the last 3 hours here in these areas in and around Appleton, Kimberly, Kaukauna, and that is why we have a flash flood warning. And in fact, that goes until 11 o'clock, and I don't know why that didn't display. Oh, there it is. It's green, and it hides within the outline box. So there it is. So for these areas, we have a flash flood warning until 11 o'clock this evening. And it's going to take some time for this water to come back down just a little bit. Ooh, Gloria asking, she's in Fond du Lac. All right. Yeah, so Gloria, we're trying to keep you updated here as that storm rumbles your way. But let's go back. First, let me just say, yeah, flash flood warning until 11 o'clock for areas around Appleton and the Kimberly, Kaukauna areas. Very heavy rainfall coming on down. Down towards Fond du Lac, you're about ready to get hit really hard with this southern part of the storm. Western Fond du Lac County, a thunderstorm warning goes until 8:15. Let me pop back on the Milwaukee radar, go to our shear rate, and this is picking up on that line of wind crossing Lake Winnebago, west of Fond du Lac right here, and that is where we would have the strongest wind right here, and that is moving to the east and southeast. So Fond du Lac, eastern Fond du Lac County, Calumet, Manitowoc, Sheboygan counties, there's the updated scan right there. That wind, that wall of wind and rain is coming in your general direction. Likely an ominous looking shelf cloud or lowering on the front side of it. That would be some spooky type clouds, but typically associated with some strong wind gusts. You'll get the gust front, and then you'll get the rain, and could be very heavy rain and thunder and lightning, and then the core of the storm will move through, and then it'll be done. And it won't last that long, but when it When it arrives, you will certainly know. Going back and checking out our hail. Luckily, still some smaller hail embedded in this. It doesn't look like anything severe. That's good news. And as far as our storm relative velocity here, let me turn the lightning off. Don't see anything too crazy as far as rotation, which is certainly good news. That's one thing we have been watching out for today. We did have a little bit of a signature in Portage County about 6 o'clock, wall cloud reported. But thankfully, we haven't had anything too sinister like that as far as like a spin up or tornado as of yet, knock on wood, here in our area so far today. But we've got about another hour to go before these storms clear our area, and we should be able to say goodbye to this stuff after 9 o'clock and just wait and see what happens later on tonight. All right, thunderstorm in New Holstein, no rain yet. Okay, it's coming. Let me check out my printer. Busy here today. Hopefully you're all doing well. Just got an updated statement for the Weather Service in Milwaukee for the southern line of storms. Wind gusts 40 to 50, some P to maybe dime-sized hail in this. It is continuing to move to the southeast at about 40 miles per hour. Hello? Yes. It is, yes. Perfect, thanks. Okay, that was our master control. Just had to communicate a couple of things. Lisa just chiming in, wind and lightning now in Stockbridge, rain starting. Appreciate the report. It's coming. Let me go ahead and, let's see. Just to reiterate here, we still have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock for areas south of Green Bay. And like I said, this watch won't be in existence that long after 9 o'clock for our area because the storms are moving pretty quick. And the main concerns here, as we've been talking about, were the strong wind, the heavy rain. There has been some hail here, but the tornado threat has been on the low end of the spectrum. Okay, so through tonight, we still have this level 1, level 2 severe weather threat. I want to just let you know what's happening for tomorrow. Now, the odds of storms tomorrow are lower, but we still could have some storms. So there's a level 1 severe weather threat, really focused south of Green Bay. There could be some storms that try to fire up during the midday and into the early afternoon there. It's going to be marginal. Whether or not we'll see a lot, time will tell, but it's a possibility. Monday afternoon, Monday evening, also a level 1, level 2 severe weather threat here, and that shows where we may have some additional storms around here. So the next 2 days, we're going to get back to the radar in just a little bit. The next 2 days, first alert weather days. And actually, as long as I have you here, I'm going to go through some of our graphics here and give you the forecast real quick. And we'll go back to radar. So next 2 days, first alert weather days. Now, as far as our radar forecast models this evening, it hasn't been doing a really good job. So just kind of discount the near term. But I do want to pause this at 6 a.m. in the morning. Now, this is still a possibility. This line of storms could be coming in very late tonight into the first part of our Sunday morning. Again, those are the storms way out there in northern Minnesota and the Dakotas right now. By midday tomorrow, there could be some additional storms trying to flare up. This model run suggests our southern areas down towards Fond du Lac again. We'll see, but it's a possibility area-wide with it being so warm and humid. And going into Sunday evening, there still could be another batch of storms somewhere. I just don't know exactly where it's going to be. It's going to be a possibility anywhere tomorrow because it will be so warm and humid. Now, Monday morning, I think we start off relatively tame. And by the afternoon and evening with an incoming cold front, we'll have a better chance for some scattered storms around here. So that's the way it's looking. As far as predictor, and rainfall is going to be all over the place. It is just going to be, one of those wait and see type things tomorrow as far as, or over the next few days, how much rain you get will determine whether or not you get one of these storms or not. Lows tonight will be in the 60s to low 70s. We're looking at 80s to low 90s tomorrow. And then our heat index forecast for tomorrow, ahead of any storm, will likely be somewhere in the mid to upper 90s. It's come down a little bit from yesterday from what we were thinking. But if we see a little bit more sunshine, if we aren't like totally obscured by some pop-up clouds or something, it could be a little bit worse than that. So just it's going to be muggy tomorrow and on Monday, all right? And then here's our 7-day forecast. We do have some nice changes coming. This is going to be the trend. We've got the warm and humid air for tomorrow and Monday. Storm chances, first alert weather days, possible severe weather here. And then starting Tuesday, we'll have that transition. Humidity falls. There still may be a shower lingering Tuesday or Wednesday, but I think the big story there, middle of the week, we're looking at drier air, brighter skies overall, especially by Thursday and Friday. Very comfortable nights, 70s for highs, and we'll warm up again by next weekend, but pretty good cool down coming for the middle of next week. So that is the forecast. I just wanted to give you that here tonight because I know we've been talking a lot about the current situation, and right now it looks like we've lost some of the, all right, let's see, no, I got to pop on the warnings again. So now we're back to the radar. The only warning we have still in effect is for parts of Fond du Lac County until 8:15. All right, Becky, more flooding in Appleton. We have had some of that for sure with the 1 to 3 inches of rain recently. And I'm going to keep this live stream hot until about 9 o'clock. And once the storms are cleared, we'll be able to get back to normal operations here. So let's go back to our Skycam tour here. This is Oshkosh. Just saw a flash of lightning there real quick. A lot of lightning going on. So that is Oshkosh. Let's go up to Appleton where we have had instances of some street flooding and some hail. It's just been a stormy night here. We had that complex really just pop up right over Appleton, and then the second wave came on in and kicked it out. But you had a little extra rain there for sure. Now this is the calm after the storm in Green Bay. There's a little sliver of sun or bright sky there on the western horizon. That's always good to see. Sturgeon Bay. There's our light nuisance rain. Now, we typically have a band playing here on the patio Saturday evenings, and it looks like the equipment's been covered, folks gathering underneath the awnings. It's a little bit breezy there, but we may be able to salvage the evening as we go on, and we're looking at some brighter skies here in Manitowoc, or in Shawano as well. So things are improving behind the line of storms. Things have yet to get traumatic here in Manitowoc, but we are likely going to have some wet weather here very, very soon. So latest statement from the National Weather Service in Milwaukee. It doesn't look like we're going to have an extension on that warning, but as we've been talking about here on this live stream, wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour are a possibility, and perhaps some small hail, torrential downpours as this line continues to the east at about 35, 40 miles per hour. So the most intense part of this is actually, I would say if there's going to be some strong wind in this, it's going to be right up here, east of Sherwood, northern parts of Calumet County. That's where we have this little bow structure right here. And that's where, just looking at this, sometimes you just never know with some of this activity. And so this little feature right here is something to monitor. Because occasionally we can get a little spin-up type situation in this particular setup here, and on the northern line of a bowing wind structure, which that is. So just a little advanced first alert here if you are north of Hilbert, west of Brillion, somewhere here, right near Forest Junction. This is where we have a little questionable signature on radar, and we'll just continue to monitor this at the very least here to say that. It's nothing too crazy, but it's definitely an item of interest. It's where we would be looking for a little pocket of possible rotation if it's going to occur. If we would have a spin-up type scenario, it would be somewhere in that area. But again, that is just what Doppler radar is indicating right now. No warning in place right now, but definitely something to monitor. Now, we'll pop back our shear rate. And again, this is where we have the gust front. So there's the strong wind. This is like the leading edge. And then you'll have the rain behind it. So that gust front comes out before the storm typically. And then you'll get the rain and the lightning. But the strongest wind is typically going to be on the real front, the front facade of these storms as they march your way. And there's likely an ominous shelf cloud on this activity here this evening too. I'll urge you, if you do have some reports, go to, you can upload reports via our WBAY news apps and pictures and videos. I'm going to go to our website now. You can do it from our website as well. And we'd love to know what you've been seeing out there. I know we've had some issues in the Appleton area. And you can feel free to upload your reports if you can do it safely. Stacy reporting thunder in Two Rivers. All right, it's getting there. Let's go ahead and pop on our lightning here. And you'll know these storms are coming. Now, here's a sign of, like, this is the positive thing to be aware of. So right now in this view, we have 54 cloud-to-ground strikes in the last 5 minutes. I'm going to go back 30 minutes, and that number was much higher. It was at one point about 154. So we have lost about 2/3 of the volume of lightning strikes as this activity has been moving farther to the east. That doesn't mean we're completely out of the woods, but we for sure could have some, we're going in the right direction as far as the volume of lightning strikes. That's a good thing to have, but we still have some pockets of wind here. We mentioned out here in Calumet County there could be some strong wind, and let's go back into Fond du Lac area, and we're getting at the southern part of the storm moving through Fond du Lac right now. And it's definitely coming up a blinding rain, most likely. I can't pull up our DOT cameras from Fond du Lac over here on this computer, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and check it out just behind the scenes here. And I'm pretty sure it's coming down in a pretty good fashion. Yeah, it's just absolutely dreadful in Fond du Lac right now. As you know there, if you are watching the stream from down in Fond du Lac or in that particular area. So we've got blinding rain. Take it easy on the highways here, folks. We just want to make sure everybody's on the safe side here this evening. Just be extra careful. Slow down. Don't hydroplane. And turn the flashes on if it's really blinding. But don't park underneath any of those overpasses because that bottles the traffic up and leads to other problems here. Don't see any big incidents on our area highways this evening via the Wisconsin DOT, but you know, just be extra safe this evening as this blinding rain moves on through with the thunder and lightning. So strong wind possibility, shear rate. Let's go to that. Oh yeah, and let me go and check another source here. So Fond du Lac, you've been getting hit hard right now. And I am going to go check another source of information. I'm curious to know what the recent wind gust was from the Fond du Lac airport. All right, so we have okay, so we just had a 45-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Fond du Lac airport. All right, that was the most recent gust. So 45 at Fond du Lac, and we had 40 in Green Bay. So we've had wind gusts tonight that have been just under severe weather criteria. But having said that, if you get a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust and you have some lawn furniture or a tree that comes down on a power line, you're going to have some problems, even without an official severe thunderstorm warning. So we had a 45-mile-per-hour gust here in Fond du Lac as this thing has been blasting on through this wall of wind and rain. So if you're watching this from Mount Calvary, Keogh, Plymouth, Sheboygan, southern Manitowoc County, I'm going to put the radar back on here. This is where we're going to have some gusty wind over the next hour, really between now and about 9 o'clock. And once we get to 9 o'clock, we should be in fairly good shape. All right, Donna reporting very windy, lots of lightning and thunder and heavy rain in Fondy. Indeed, it is a little bit ugly down there right now. We've had these storms marching on through, and it's the nature of the beast right now this time of year. Hot and humid usually gives rise to thunderstorms. And what's interesting is when I switch to the Green Bay radar site here, we have less color down towards Fond du Lac because the radar beam is actually shooting through all of that rain, some embedded hail, a lot of stuff to get down towards Fond du Lac. But then if we switch over to the Milwaukee radar, it's a little bit brighter, more colorful because the radar beam is unobstructed by rain going from the radar site here west of Milwaukee, shooting up into Fond du Lac County. And we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Fond du Lac and Sheboygan County until 9:15. All right, so that is just hot off the press. I'm going to go and do another quick I am going to do another quick update on the TV side, and then we'll come back here and finish up our discussion here on the digital stream. Looks like this warning is for most likely damaging wind and some small hail here. And that goes until 9:15. I'm going to mute the live stream here and then do the TV thing and come back and we'll move forward. Okay, just got that project done there on the TV side. All right, gusty winds and lightning here in Pebbles. Appreciate that, Gloria. And I should mention that the warning for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties does bring up the wind potential, maybe up to 70 miles per hour. So let's go and inspect here real quick here with our Milwaukee radar, our velocity here. And there are some pockets here, but not as strong as that, but it's a possibility, can't rule it out. So that's, we're sampling up here about 3,500 feet. So there's definitely a strong line of wind here now moving east of Fond du Lac towards Sheboygan County. So just be aware. All right, it is 8:20. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the southern part of our coverage area. Let's go back to Appleton and talk about our rainfall recently in the last 3 hours. Flash flood warning in effect, 1 to 3+ inches of rain. Appleton, Kimberly, Kaukauna, flash flood warning in effect until 11 o'clock tonight for this area, even into parts of northern Calumet County. But a lot of rain out there tonight. Oh, Brittany. Yeah, Brittany, I tell you, I don't know what's happening with the EAS and our coverage and the signal, but yes, we're here streaming because this is like a clear outlet tonight. There's so much happening, and we're going to be with everyone here on the event until it's done. Appreciate it, Joni. We're working here to make sure you guys stay safe through this. Lots of lightning for sure. All right. Flash flood reported in Kimberly, flooded roads in Appleton, combined locks, Kimberly and Kaukauna, vehicles stuck in flooded roads. We talked about that earlier. And out towards Portage County in the Kellner area, there's some trees down, reported wind damage across central Wisconsin. Some of the latest reports that we just got in from the wire. All right. So Katie asking about Fond du Lac. The worst is pulling away from you right now. It's going to rain a little bit for the next hour afterwards, and there's probably still going to be some steadier rain and some thunder and lightning. But the worst of the storm is now moving away into eastern Fond du Lac County, eventually into western Sheboygan County. So that is the very latest for you there, Katie, down there in Fond du Lac. Now, just looking at the bigger picture, let's go to the La Crosse radar. So this is like, we typically see these squall lines, sometimes they're called storm complexes, sometimes they're called MCSs. That's a fancy weather term for a big batch of storms in the summertime that will produce wind damage, some hail, tons of lightning, very heavy rainfall, and we'll have clusters of these things moving through in a very juiced up weather type environment, and that's what we have tonight. So we have the strong storms moving through our area. These go all the way down to Madison, and there's another one that's over here in La Crosse. And anytime you see, I'm going to pause this for a second here, turn the lightning off. Anytime you see these little bows, anytime the line bows out a little bit, and if they're moving in this general direction, that's where we will have most likely some enhanced wind damage potential. And that's what is happening tonight. So those are the two clusters close to us. But we mentioned late tonight, and it looks like, I'm going to bring up the national radar here. We are beginning to see these storms out here in Minnesota, southern Canada, start to coalesce a little bit and move southeast. And that is what could come in here very late tonight. So we are not, we're going to say goodbye to these storms here in our area, and we'll be watching out for storms later on tonight. All right, so I'm going to look at one of these forecast models. We're actually, it's 8:23. We're in the process of getting new weather model data in. And just look, it's not able to be displayed yet. It'll be in for a 10 o'clock show tonight. But the storms out in Minnesota and the Dakotas, This model I'm looking at wants to take it, let me get in this general direction, and wants to focus any strong activity, if we would have it, down towards areas south of the Fox cities, Oshkosh, Fond du Lac areas. But that's not gospel, but it's a possibility here. But there will be another batch of storms coming into Wisconsin later tonight. But it looks like the storms we have now are clearing the air just a little bit. So we are going to have a little bit of a reprieve until the wee hours of the overnight hours. And there still could be some storms that can flare up tomorrow during the heat. Now, as far as the heat situation, still expecting highs, maybe pushing 90 tomorrow. The heat index is going to be pretty ugly. Dew points are going to be in the low to mid 70s tomorrow. Ooh, this model wants to take us up to about 74 for a dew point tomorrow. So we don't want you to suffer in the heat. Unfortunately, we do have some power outages that have been occurring here this evening. So this is the latest update across our area. Waushara County, Waupaca County, about 600 there. Waushara, 200 customers in Waupaca, Shawano, 800, and Green Lake, about 100 customers. And total customers affected, rough total here on our map in this area, about 3,600 as about 8:25. And hopefully those outages can be fixed during the overnight before the heat cranks up tomorrow. Okay, so that's the big picture. Let's zoom back into eastern Wisconsin because we have some issues here for sure. And these are fast movers. Let's go to Manitowoc, or Skycam in Manitowoc. And I'm going to bring radar back. And I'm going to go move our camera in Manitowoc. So hopefully, we've got a good looking sunset in Appleton this evening. But I'm going to move our Manitowoc camera so we can see the incoming storm. It's always nice to see the calm after the storm. It really is to have a nice peaceful sunset after a rough bout of weather. And that's what we're getting in parts of the area right now. So I've moved our Manitowoc camera to look a little bit better towards the storm coming on in. While you look at that radar screen, I'm over on another computer multitasking, trying to get some of our other views so we can get the sunset. Ooh, it's going to be nice here. Okay. So let's go to Manitowoc here and bring up the scene prior to the storms. We're looking south, and we will likely have, have that storm coming on in here too. Okay, Jack reporting some trees down and some power outages in the Fond du Lac area. Can definitely assume that is happening down there. Now, after the storm, we're getting some nice color here on the western horizon. That's the view in Appleton where we had some torrential rain and some hail not too long ago, and we are still under a flash flood warning there in Appleton. And here's the setting sun in Shawano. Wow, what a great view we have right now there in Shawano. Not too bad at all. But if you have yet to have that storm, you're going to get a pretty good bout of rain and wind perhaps, and some power outage issues. So I think it looks like the more intense part of this is going to likely stay south of Manitowoc. We'll look at our shear rate here. But there's still a little arcing line of gusty wind. This is our Green Bay radar. So between now and the next 15 minutes, Two Rivers, Manitowoc, areas in central and eastern Manitowoc County, northern parts of Sheboygan County, you are going to get a taste of this wind. So this is from the Green Bay radar. It's closer to where the storm is, so we have a pretty good indicator of that wind in western Manitowoc County. And we'll go to our Milwaukee radar and our shear rate there. We've got a better handle on the gusty wind down to the southeast of Fond du Lac, approaching Sheboygan. So pockets of gusty wind right along the leading edge of this activity as it continues moving to the east briskly at about 40 miles per hour. So just to reset the situation, 8:30, severe thunderstorm warning continues for Sheboygan County and eastern Fond du Lac County until 9:15. We've had at least a 45 mile per hour wind gust reported in the Fond du Lac area at the airport. And we've had a 40 mile per hour wind gust reported in Green Bay at the airport earlier as the storm coming in was collapsing a bit. So we've had 40 to 50 mile per hour winds here across our area. We've had some power outages, we've had some flooding, we've had some hail. The one thing we haven't had confirmed, and thankfully so, is we haven't had a tornado warning or a confirmed tornado or anything like that thus far. That's always good. We're teetering there for a little bit west of Watoma in central Wisconsin with a tornado warning. Doppler radar indicated, but a wall of cloud was reported about 6 o'clock. But now this is a wall of wind and rain moving through eastern Fond du Lac and Calumet counties and approaching Manitowoc, Sheboygan, and we'll clear this stuff out of here by the top of the hour, if not shortly thereafter. So we've had some nuisance rain up towards Sturgeon Bay. Let's see, Chris reporting the sky is red over Algoma. No doubt we're getting the back edge of the this storm moving on through, so we're getting a little bit of color to pop. All right, got a report of continuing reports of flooding in the Appleton area. On a positive note here, we can say the worst of the storm, I know we have effects from the storm complex, but the worst of the storm is done for Green Bay and Appleton, Oshkosh, and now is pulling away from Fond du Lac. So many of us are now in recovery mode after the storms have moved on through, and we just have to clear this one little batch out to the west. We have to clear this one batch that will clear the eastern areas, southeastern areas, and then we look back to the west, and there's a little bit of clearing. We'll have a little bit of a reprieve before those late night storms are possible, very late tonight and tomorrow morning. So that is the very latest here. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock for our southern areas, but really that's a moot point now. It even technically isn't in effect for Manitowoc, but it is for Sheboygan. But we do have this one last batch, last hurrah, if you will, from Manitowoc County to Sheboygan County, eastern Fond du Lac, and parts of Calumet County, and then we'll be in good shape here. So the strongest wind is going to be on the leading edge of this. So this would be out towards we'll go and put the shear rate on. So this narrow line here from near and northeast of Campbellsport to areas west of Plymouth, near Kiel, Valders, Maple Grove. This is where we have the little gust front, if you will, the strongest push of wind. We'll go to our Green Bay radar, and as I just described, that is our arcing line of wind. And so this is the last 30 minutes. This is the gust front moving through, and that will move through, and then we'll have the rain behind it, the lightning, and that will be it. But that gust front can kick up that 40 to 50 mile per hour wind speed and cause some issues here. So our total lightning strikes have gone down. We're now looking at about 50 strikes over the last 5 minutes here. So lightning trends are down. We still have some wind gusts for sure. As far as actual, let's go back to our storm reports, and we'll toggle this on. So we mentioned the 45 mile per hour. Okay, so this is an update here. So we had a 68, and take a lot of this stuff back, that the gusts I had at the Fond du Lac Airport was before 8 o'clock. So this is a 68 mile per hour wind gust at the Fond du Lac Airport. So I have to correct myself there. I didn't see the extra information that came on in there. So, okay. So that's the most intense part of the storm that we've had so far today, at least measured. 68 mile per hour wind gust at Fond du Lac County Airport. And that wind potential is still with us here. We've had some small hail reported around the Appleton area, dime, nickel, penny size. We've had flooding reported in Appleton, Combined Locks, Kimberly, and Kaukauna. Vehicles getting stranded. Here's a report, potential knee-deep flooding based off of a social media picture there. I'll have to check that out. And also we had a little bit of hail reported earlier out towards west of Seymour, and we had a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Green Bay Airport and out towards Wausau, Marathon County. There was a report of 3-inch diameter hail west of Wausau as these storms got going about 3 o'clock, and also some flooding and some gusty wind there. They had a 49-mile-per-hour wind gust reported at the Wausau Airport. So we've had wind gusts today anywhere from about 40 to 68, and some instances of hail, some flooding. And those are the official storm reports that they're plotting on the map. But I tell you, there's a lot of other issues that probably have happened out there. So if you know of any, let me know, or submit a report to our mobile app, a picture, video, or the website, WBAY.com, and we can try and comb through those and try and get the very latest on our report later on tonight. But on a positive note here, if there is one, this activity is briskly moving, and we should be able to get this out of here. The warning for Sheboygan goes until 9:15, so over the next 40 minutes, we should be able to get this clearing northeastern Wisconsin, and we'll get into a bit of a break. But just so you know, you can go to our website, WBAY.com, submit your photos and videos here. You can also do this in the WBAY News app, and that will help fill out some of our coverage later on tonight. So feel free to chime in. All right. Appreciate all the comments here tonight. It's helped us carry through this evening. Jump back over to my chat room with the Weather Service folks. And we're all pretty busy this evening. A lot of flooding being reported in the Kimberly area. I'm just looking up some of these reports here. All right. Yeah, it looks like the Fond du Lac Airport was the highest wind gust we've had so far today. All right. So these storms are, let's go back to our Skycam in Manitowoc. These storms will be soon to depart. We finally have a little bit of rain on our camera lens here. Looking relatively peaceful in Manitowoc right now, but that batch of storms is coming on in. We're getting that hue on the western horizon there in Sturgeon Bay. Very nice sunset, very, very peaceful. Great to see here in northeastern Wisconsin on the back side of the storm. Not too shabby here, always good to see. Okay, let's I'm gonna go to a different product here, and we will I have to bump things over just for a split second here. So let's go back to this Skycam right here, and I want to back things up and show you the big picture. I'm going to try and load up one of those time lapses from earlier and see how it looks. So just let me multitask here real quick. All right, and here's the the bigger picture this evening as we await the night mode of our satellite to really represent the night, because it's still a little bit of daylight here. I've got those storms that are perking out in Minnesota. And I'm going to check out my time lapses here real quick. Okay. All right, so we've got that, and I did one for Oshkosh, and I think I did one, no, we got one for Green Bay. So these storms are just the byproduct of the warm and humid environment we had today. And we will likely have a few more here over the next couple of days before the cold front sweeps on through. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you our time lapse. This was from earlier in Shawano. This is around 4 o'clock, I think, as the complex was approaching our area. We were starting to get some thunderstorm warnings out to the northwest. You can see that lowering, and then the storm front moved on through. Very heavy rainfall, blinding rain for a spell, and then it was done. And that what you just saw there has been across most of our areas so far this evening. This is how it looked in Green Bay. I thought we were going to get pounded pretty good in Green Bay, but as the storm was actually rolling closer and closer, it really just fell apart. We did have some gusty wind, and we did have some wet weather, as you can see right there, but the storm wasn't as ferocious as what it could have been, thankfully. But of course, we have had some problems across our area. So right now, just to reiterate, we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 9:15 for Sheboygan County and eastern Fond du Lac County. The core of the wind now is moving into central Sheboygan County and central Manitowoc County. Just this is it. This is the last big batch of storms. So right over Kiel, we have a pretty good part of that storm. And I think a lot of us probably don't want to have any more rain for a while, right? I would say that is the general consensus after all of the stuff that we've had to deal with over the last couple of months. Just we can't get a break, can't get several consecutive days. But if you were watching the stream not too long ago, we did show you that 7-day forecast, and we do have a nice trend coming our way later on as we get a little bit deeper into next work week. But now so the big batch of storms is moving away. One other thing that can sometimes happen, we get some stuff to build on the back side of it, and you see these other little cells trying to bud up here from southwest of Watoma back to central Wisconsin. So I'm not going to say we're going to be completely like storm or rain free for the overnight hours until that late evening storm complex could come on in. But I think the more significant stuff is moving through right now. But there's still a chance for some additional thunder or some rain here over the next few hours here, even on the back side of this big wave that has been moving through across eastern Wisconsin. So yes, we have another flare up of some additional downpours there back to the west. All right, let's go to, what haven't we looked at today? So this is the visible satellite and infrared combo, and this shows where we have the taller cloud tops, the brighter colors, the reds, the deep oranges. And the taller cloud tops illustrate where the storms are taller, colder of course, and stronger. The storms are stronger. And we have this wave moving right over eastern Wisconsin right now, Blossom basically to our northwest, out towards Wausau. There's that other one out towards southeastern Minnesota, and that one complex is blowing up here across northern Minnesota, and that's what we'll be watching out for later on this evening and tonight. So again, we can't totally let down our guard for the rest of the night, but let's just hope we can get a little bit of a breather here between this one and that one that could come in very late tonight. Let's go back to our power outage map here again. Now we're getting totals, values to plot in Fond du Lac County, 1,500 customers without power. Calumet County, about 1,000 customers without power. Total in this map here about 3,600. Not what we want to see. So let's just hope these can be restored in short order before the heat and humidity builds back in for tomorrow. All right, so there's our power outage update, okay? All right, so Manitowoc, we finally have some of that wet weather coming in, and it's a sub-severe storm here, and I'm going to keep this going until about 9 o'clock or until the storm complex clears Sheboygan, and then I'm going to have to start prepping for the late news at 10 o'clock tonight. But you know what, it's been a journey here this evening with everything that's been happening in the world and across the country and locally here with weather. And hopefully you've been staying safe and have been navigating through things okay here. But from Valders down to Kiel, Plymouth right now, east of Campbellsport, it's just all encroaching upon eastern Sheboygan County and eastern Manitowoc County, the worst or the most intense rainfall. But we've lost a lot of the lightning strikes, but we still have this, this wave of wind. And we'll just time this out real quick here. So the gust front, if you will, is like right here. It's moving east about 35. So this is going to be in Manitowoc by 9 o'clock. It's going to be in Sheboygan just after 9 o'clock or around 9:02. So you get the story here. We will be able to clear our area of severe thunderstorm warnings and the severe thunderstorm watch and all of these severe issues, God willing, by 9:15 at the latest, hopefully sooner, as this activity continues drifting, or moving rather. It's not drifting, it's moving briskly at about 40 miles per hour. So if you're doing any driving down the interstate, I-43, it's going to be a little bit of a hairy drive here once this moves through. Blinding rain, thunder and lightning, gusty wind. Just hold on, slow down. You don't want to hydroplane or lose control of your vehicle. Maybe you want to turn the flashers on just to be on the safe side if you do have to really slow down out there. But we still have a little bit of lighter type rain with some embedded thunder and lightning that has even gone back to Outagamie County too. So these storm complexes produce a lot of lightning, and some of the blow-off anvil clouds around the storm complex, even on the back side, can still produce lightning strikes a lot in a fair amount of time after the actual storm moves through. And that's what we're seeing. Let me broaden up the storm reports here this evening. So these are, I'm going to clear all of this stuff out of here. I'll just pause it. So let's turn all of this off. So we've had our issues here. It looks like we've had some wind and some hail here from Eau Claire to La Crosse, and also another batch of storms in southeastern Minnesota. It looks like there was a tornado that was reported somewhere east of Medford, Minnesota, and also some strong wind, 64-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Rochester International Airport today. And over in La Crosse, wind gusts of 66 miles per hour, some tree damage, it looks like, some hail. Again, this is western parts of the state. Central Wisconsin, this is near Kellner. where we actually did have a tornado warning at one point earlier this evening. This is reported some tree damage at 6:20. So these are some of the official reports, and these will likely expand as we get more information later on this evening. All right, let's go back and talk about the flooding in the Appleton area, where we've had a lot of street flooding and flash flooding. We still have the flash flood warning in effect until 11 o'clock for these areas around Appleton, where we've had, this is the 6-hour rainfall total estimate here. It'll be interesting to see the actual numbers when they come in. But a lot of this occurred in short order. And we had anywhere from about 2 to maybe 3.5 inches of rain here. And that's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And especially in an urban environment where you get, there's a lot of concrete and blacktop and all that kind of stuff that can just aggravate the problem. So that's where the biggest pocket of rain has been in our area today. But there's been even bigger pockets back out to the Wausau area, northwest of Shawano, parts of Menominee County. So we have had pockets, even up here in and around Manawa, where we desperately don't want to have any more rain after the dam breach we had and all the flooding not too long ago. So we're just, we're dealing with problems we don't want to be dealing with here. And that is wet weather after wet weather after wet weather. And it's not just minor wet weather, it's big time rains, and we just don't want to have that. So that is the latest on the rainfall. Going back into our radar here, again, this is a 30-minute loop. It is coming into the Manitowoc area right now and Sheboygan. Speaking of the rain, just got a gauge measurement or a rain gauge total here. This is near Kaukauna. 2.12 inches of rain in Outagamie County and Kaukauna. So that goes with the numbers we were just talking about. And this is a 3-inch total. This is east of, on the eastern side of Appleton. So that backs up the numbers we were just talking about. All right. Go back to our Manitowoc Skycam, checking out this, these other reports here. Several, we know that we've had some flooding in the Appleton area. All right, so that printer you hear is just a bunch of reports trickling in right now. Just verifying a lot of the flooding we've been talking about here on the digital news stream we've got going here tonight. So it is 8:52. We are watching the storm line approach the Sheboygan area. This storm line has had a history of 68-mile-per-hour winds in the Fond du Lac area, causing some reported power outages. And via the chat here, some folks chiming in with some reports of some trees down too. So we have had quite a doozy of a storm from the Fond du Lac area, and this is moving closer and closer to Sheboygan. Now, is it still as intense as it was? Let's go check the velocity. Hard to tell. We've got the radar beam going parallel to some of our data here. Let's go here, shear rates. From a radar depiction, it doesn't look as intense as it did. But again, that's just a radar depiction. Don't have a lot of ground truth at this moment, unless you have any reports, if you're watching this from Sheboygan County, and can chime in, or even Manitowoc County too, just so we know exactly what's been happening out here. Okay, so this is our future radar, our future scan product, and this takes the current radar and forecasts out the next hour. And you can see how this is going to be trending out of our area. And we'll have a little bit of rain through about 10 o'clock. Our news hopefully is scheduled to go on at 10 o'clock, assuming the special coverage from ABC News is not extended, but we'll see. That's again, that's in flux here. But you get the gist. This batch will be clearing out of our area soon. and we'll be looking at better weather, at least for the evening hours, until perhaps the wee hours of the overnight. Let me pop the lightning back on, and it's really come down, folks. So this is a sure sign of weakening. We only have 12 recent strikes here. The storm has really, looks like it's gusting out, to be honest with you. Joshua reporting over 3.5 inches of rain in Kimberly. Appreciate the report there. All right, it's been a wild night for sure, but thankfully this batch of storms in Sheboygan County is pulsing down, it looks like. Although I say that, but the radar depiction is not clear cut because we have a storm sitting right over the Milwaukee radar dome right now, so the reflectivity is likely muted by the fact that there's actually a storm sitting over the actual radar. So that is a little bit deceptive, I would say. So we just have to err on the side of caution. Let's go back to our sky cam here in Manitowoc and see if we can't see this shelf cloud or this lowering. No, it's all blending together. It's clear as mud now. That's dark, and we have a little bit of rain preceding it. But there's some lightning in the Manitowoc area right now, as the storm comes on in a weakened state. But we are about a good 10 minutes away from getting this really out of our hair. So once we can get the storm to clear, the worst to clear Sheboygan, we'll be in fairly good shape for this evening. All right. And we still actually have a little sliver of pink on the western horizon. There has been a pretty nice looking sunset there. But yeah, we are recovering from the wet weather in the Appleton area. Nice little burst of color there, but very heavy rainfall moved on through here. So the two things we're concerned about today, heavy rainfall and some gusty wind, and we've had that. We also had a little bit of hail here, but it wasn't as serious as the rain and some of the other things we've had, the rain and the gusty wind we've had in parts of the area. So approaching 9 o'clock, just one severe thunderstorm warning here in effect until 9:15 for Sheboygan County. And let's go back and check out our power outage situation right now. No, we already checked that out. That's our feature scan. So as of this hour, as of right now, we have about 3,700 customers without power from Wausau down towards Fond du Lac as these storms have been moving through the area. There could be other outages out there that aren't being depicted here, but this is what we have as of the top of the hour here right now. So we're dealing with power outages. We've had some storm reports of some hail, some flooding, of course, and let me bring back up the rainfall here. This is the 6-hour rainfall totals using our Green Bay radar. And just a lot of rain all over the place here. But obviously we've had pockets of very heavy rain, 2 to 3 to 4 inches around the Appleton area. Other pockets of rain, 1 to 3 or 1 to 2, let's say, where you get these darker greens. That's like over an inch. And when you start to see the yellows, that's where we start to see 2-inch total. So we've had pockets of very heavy rainfall. North and east of Green Bay, you've really missed out. And, you know, I would say, like, just looking at the precipitation trends over the last couple of weeks, the heaviest rain has been more focused where, unfortunately, it rained today. And our northeastern areas have not really had the brunt of the heaviest rain compared to the southern area, south of Highway 29, and that pattern has continued again with this event so far, this wave of storms. But we still have tomorrow to get through and Monday to get through. Several more opportunities for some more storms, which, yeah, we don't want, but it's possible. We just don't want any more flooding or anything like that. So it looks like this wave of storms is going in the right direction as far as radar depiction. It is moving into Sheboygan right now. The severe thunderstorm warning for Sheboygan County continues, but the strongest wind is moving through the I-43 corridor right now. So if we're going to get some impactful weather with wind and issues like that, it's going to be happening like right now or very soon in Sheboygan and along I-43. Looking back to the west, we still have some steadier rain that has been moving through Appleton, Neenah, Oshkosh, the Fond du Lac area. There's some embedded thunder and lightning in this, but that too is going to be winding down here. So kicking it out again to the national level, and I'm going to pop on our severe thunderstorm watch. So there's a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight for northern and central Minnesota, and depending on how storms go there and even up into the arrowhead of Minnesota, we may see some extensions of watches and that kind of thing happen during the overnight hours. So when you go to bed tonight, if it's pretty quiet here, don't be lulled to sleep thinking we're going to be totally storm-free for the night because this batch of storms has moved through. There's this other one back here in Minnesota that is definitely going to be something that will be monitoring during the night. So that is the latest trends, just looking at that. And I would say if there's nothing else here, it looks pretty good that we're finally getting some data to go along with the current weather situation and give us at least a little bit more confidence that we are getting the pinpoint predictor more accurate to show you tonight at 10. Looking at a DOT cam from Sheboygan, still waiting on some rain to be moving in there. It doesn't look to be too blinding at this point, but there's some wet weather on the camera lens. Can't bring up our DOT cams on this computer over here. So anyway, we have this batch of storms about ready to clear our area, and it is 9 o'clock, and we are going to be able to reshuffle things for our 10 o'clock news tonight on WBAY TV. We'll have a complete weather report, the forecast, the latest pinpoint predictor, the latest thinking going into the coming days ahead. But right now, it is just before the warning is set to expire in the Sheboygan area. Let me go back in and see what folks are chiming in about down there. No recent reports. So if you have any information, if you've had any impactful weather at your location tonight, that's what I'm trying to say. Feel free to chime in here on the comments real quick, or send us a picture or video on our news app or our website so we can fill in the holes here as we go throughout the next hour prior to our newscast. Now, even during the overnight hours too, because these flooding issues we've had won't be going away that fast. They will still linger during the night. And I'm actually just looking at some of our storm reports here from this evening. Oh, wow. Some folks have already submitted some cool photos and videos of the storms, looking at some storm that rolled through Anago earlier and some shelf clouds here. So yeah, some pretty, and even a pretty good lightning picture here too. Really cool. So we'll try and show some of those on our newscast tonight, and for us to show them on the TV, try to upload them through our website or the news app, because it makes us able to display them. I can't show them, even if you tag me in a picture here on Facebook, I can't really do it. So that's the best way to do it. But right now, as we go back to our radar, things seem to be doing okay here at least for most of the area outside of the downpours in southern Manitowoc County and through Sheboygan County here. So we're about ready to lose the warning, and we're about ready to wrap up our severe weather coverage tonight here on the Digital News Desk live stream, and then we will get ready to put everything together, talk about the future coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. So it's been a very busy day. Okay, it is 9:04. All right, Joshua asking, will there still be more overnight still? Yeah, so we're watching those storms way up in Minnesota, and this is we likely won't have too many major problems in the near term. I'm gonna bring up my national radar. There it is. But these are the storms up here. These are the storms that could come in here later on tonight and in the wee hours of the night and tomorrow morning, if they do form into some sort of a line. Some of our forecast guidance suggests they will, and we'll just have to see how this goes during the overnight hours. But the atmosphere is still a little bit energized. It's not like this batch of storms has totally stabilized things. We are still in a very unsettled and humid environment. And we can get wave after wave of storms. Thankfully, we're going to have several hours here as we recover from this batch, and we'll await to see what happens later on tonight and tomorrow morning. So I would say tomorrow morning, just looking at this other product here. Let me see. I'm going to try to get you an approximate time here when we would be a little bit on the lookout for this next batch of storms. I would say this is going to be very late tonight. Like there could be something that pops up probably maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but that would be out ahead of this bigger batch that could roll in to areas southwest of the Fox Cities, primarily at this point looking at this guidance by 5 or 6 a.m. So it's going to be very late tonight. This would be like a daybreak type event tomorrow morning. So most of the night for most of us probably will be on the quieter side. All right, I'm going to go over and check out and see if we have a recent wind gust here in Sheboygan. All right, where are we at here? Peak wind gust today so far at the Sheboygan Airport has only been 31, at least according to this data. Again, Fond du Lac was up to 68. We had the 40 in Green Bay. So I haven't seen anything that high yet coming out of that batch of storms. I'm looking at some other wind gust reports here from the other parts of the storm line that goes down west of Milwaukee. I see a 53. I see a 46 at Dane County Airport in Madison. So it's the Fond du Lac County Airport 68 mile per hour gust, the most intense that we've had so far today. All right, this storm complex is moving east. It is moving through Sheboygan, moving into Lake Michigan. And now the warnings are lighting up for the southern line of the storms down here southwest of Madison. So this, for us, the storms have decided to thankfully, exit and weaken at the same time. So we are moving in the right direction. The worst of the weather now seems to be on the way out of our area. And we will just be awaiting to see what happens during the overnight hours. So it is 10 after 9. It looks like things have, let me go to our shear rates here, and that has really lessened according to the Milwaukee radar. Go to our shear rate from the Green Bay radar. And the worst of the storm wind gusts now moving into Lake Michigan. All right, let's see what's happening here. All right, so got a report from one of our viewers in Oshkosh, nearly an inch of rain, 0.95, which is down near the airport. And yeah, so it's been a bit of a hairy night here this evening, but the worst of the storms now on the way out. We'll be waiting for the activity that could roll in from Minnesota later on tonight. You see some of these warnings up here. So right now, things are improving. I'm going to suspend the live stream. We'll see you tonight on the TV side at 10 o'clock, assuming we're on time, depending on what ABC News National is doing. But you now know the latest on the storm threat for now. It's falling apart, or not falling apart, but pulling away from our area, winding down for northeastern Wisconsin. We still have some heavy downpours down towards the Sheboygan area. The storms in general, though, pulling away from northeastern Wisconsin. We'll wait and see what happens later on tonight. But right now, that is the latest on our severe weather threat is winding down. Now, could be some storms later tonight. Join me for the full forecast at 10 o'clock on WBAY TV. So thanks for staying with us this evening in the stream. Stay safe and have a good night.